Hello and welcome to the Southern Miss Intramural Sports online captains meeting for soccer. After reviewing this presentation, you will need to continue on and take the captain's quiz in order to complete your team's registration. Let's begin.
So what does a captain need to do? Captain should be familiar with all rules, schedules, policies, and procedures, and pass this information along to their team members. That way everybody's informed about what's going on. Captain should also assist the intramural sports staff with the implementation of the sportsmanship policy, a policy that we will go over later in this presentation. Teams are encouraged to arrive at least 15 minutes early to every contest. This allows the teams to warm up and to check out any equipment they might need and to start the game on time. Captains are also the representative for each member of the team. It is encouraged that team captains are the ones to discuss rule interpretations and calls with our student officials. Participants are encouraged to have a physical examination and obtain adequate insurance prior to participation in recreational sports activities. Individuals who participate in recreational sports activities will be doing so at their own risk. Participation in recreational sports is voluntary, and the University of Southern Mississippi is not responsible for any injury that may occur to participants. Student health and accident insurance information may be obtained through Student Health Services at 601-266-5390. Concerning lost or stolen items, Southern Miss Recreational Sports assumes no responsibility for items that may be lost, stolen, or damaged during intramural activities. All students are encouraged to secure their valuables. If you are concerned about the security of your valuables, you may locate the sports supervisor on duty, and he or she will attempt to locate a safe place for your belongings. There's a chance that during the fun and excitement of intramural sports, the recreational sports department may want to photograph and videotape participants and use those photographs and videos for promotional materials. If for some reason you choose not to be photographed or filmed, please notify the staff and we'll delete any of the pictures or videos that we have of you. As you're putting together your championship squad, you probably want to know who can play on it. Currently, all undergraduate and graduate students who are enrolled at the university are eligible to play. Faculty and staff are also eligible to play, granted they have purchased a rec card. Spouses of these eligible participants can also participate through the purchase of a rec card in co-rec leagues only. Spouses must be on the same roster. Here at Intramural Sports, we welcome and encourage all students to play intramurals. Sometimes those students are collegiate athletes. Concerning current or former varsity athletes, only 2 individuals who have ever participated on a collegiate level in a sport related to the intramural activity they are attempting to participate in may be on the same roster. Concerning sport club members, only 2 current sport club members are allowed on the same roster in a sport related to the club that they are a member of. Now, when teams wish to play with a sport club athlete and a varsity athlete on the same team, teams can only have a maximum of 2 members who fall under the current, former varsity athlete or sport club member description. These are new rules to the 2015-2016 academic year. Many students ask, how many intramurals can I play? Well, the answer to that question is, you can play as many intramurals as you want. However, players can only compete for 1 single-sex team and 1 co-rec team per sport. Players may not transfer from one team to another. There are some new changes this year to the ID policy in regards to checking in to an intramural event. Participants who appear on the imleagues.com team roster by noon of the day of their event may check into the intramural activity with any form of government picture ID. Participants who wish to check into the event but do not appear on the imleagues.com team roster must present their Southern Miss ID or rec card.
So where do soccer games take place? All soccer games will take place at the Intramural Fields Complex, located next to the Coliseum and by Fraternity Row. As far as equipment goes, Intramural Sports will provide soccer balls and jerseys. Players are required to wear athletic clothing. There may be no metal cleats. Players will also be required to furnish their own shin guards. Here's just a few examples of legal and illegal equipment that can be worn while playing intramurals. Jerseys must be worn during play. These jerseys must be of contrasting color to the opposing team. Participants must wear a shirt underneath any department-issued jerseys. The shirt must serve as a barrier between the player's body and the issued jersey. There should be no direct contact between a player's skin and an intramural-issued jersey.
Exposed jewelry of any kind is not to be worn during the game. Below are examples of items that intramural participants will not be allowed to wear during intramural activities. If you have a medical alert bracelet or medical alert necklace, please notify the intramural supervisor on staff, and we will work with you to secure that item to either your wrist or to secure it to your chest.
Team composition. Teams will consist of 7 players on the field at one time. A minimum of 5 players are required to start the game. The teams will need to designate a team captain. Remember, the team includes players, spectators, and coaches. Length of the game and timing. There will be 2 halves that will be 20 minutes in length. The clock will run continuously through each half. There will be a 3-minute halftime to give everyone a little breather, and there will be no overtime played in the regular season. Remember, game time is forfeit time. Now let's go over some basic rules and procedures regarding intramural soccer. For free kicks, on direct kicks, in which a goal may be scored directly, or indirect kicks, in which a goal may not be scored directly, players of the opposing team must be at least 7 yards from the ball when the kick is taken. Direct free kicks shall be awarded in the following situations: offenses committed with the hands or arms, offenses committed with the feet and legs, offenses committed with the body, or offenses involving the goalkeeper. An indirect free kick will be awarded in the following situations: offenses involving persons on the sideline, offenses by a player playing the ball a second time before the ball has been played by another player, such as a kickoff, throw-in, free kick, corner kick, or kick in the penalty area, offenses involving the goalkeeper, or offense concerned with unsportsmanlike conduct. Penalty kicks. Penalty kicks shall be awarded when a player commits a deliberate foul in his or her own penalty area, and the kick shall be taken from the penalty mark. The goalkeeper must remain on the goal line. He or she may move laterally, but must not move off the goal line until the penalty kicker has contacted the ball. Prior to the kick, only the penalty kick taker and the goalie are allowed in the penalty area. All other players must remain outside the penalty area. Once the penalty kicker has moved the ball toward the goal, any player may play the ball. The penalty kicker may not contact the ball again until another player has made contact with the ball. Goalkeepers may not throw or kick the ball over midfield. The ball must bounce prior to midfield. On any occasion when a player deliberately kicks the ball to his or her own goalkeeper, the goalie is not permitted to touch it with his or her hands. All substitutions must take place at the midfield area. The exiting player must be off the field prior to the substitute entering the field. Both teams may substitute an unlimited number of players on goal kicks after a goal is scored at halftime, when a player is cautioned, or when a player is disqualified and during an injury. Throw-ins are awarded when the ball is passed completely over the touchline, either on the ground or in the air. The ball is thrown from the spot where it crossed the touchline, and any player may throw in the ball. Goal kicks are awarded when the ball is last touched by an offensive player and passes over the goal line without resulting in a goal. The kick may be made from anywhere within the goalkeeper box and must not cross midfield before bouncing. It will also be awarded if the opposing team attempts to take the ball from the goalkeeper. Regarding offsides, there shall be no enforcement of the offside rule. Slide tackling. Any player using a slide tackle in the referee's judgment shall receive a yellow card. A slide tackle is defined as a maneuver in which one or both feet slide on the ground in an attempt to tackle the ball which is in possession of an opponent. A player that is issued a red card at any point during the game will be automatically ejected. 2 yellow cards in one game are equivalent to a red card, and the player will be ejected from the game. 2 red cards or 4 yellow cards, or given to a team in the course of one game, will result in forfeiture of that game. Here are some rules specific to COREC. Regarding team composition, each team will consist of 8 players on the field. A minimum of 6 players are required to start the game. When playing with 8, a team will consist of 4 males and 4 females. When playing with 7, there can only be a maximum of 4 for one gender and a minimum of 3 for the other. When playing with 6, there is a maximum of 4 for one gender and a minimum of 2 for the other gender. When playing with 6, a team would also be able to play with, for instance, 3 males and 3 females. Scoring. Goals scored by men shall be 1 point, and goals scored by women shall be 2 points. The last offensive player to touch the ball before a goal shall be credited for the score. The only exception to this rule is in a shootout, in which all goals are worth 1 point, regardless of the.
If for some reason a team wishes to protest rule interpretation or player eligibility, here are some guidelines that team should be aware of. Individuals who wish to protest must do so at the time of the incident in question. Judgment calls are not subject to protest. The protesting team must notify the site supervisor to suspend play. The supervisor will then document the contest facts and file a report. Signed protest forms must be submitted to the Wellness Center the day following the contest in question. Southern Miss Intramurals reserves the right to investigate the eligibility of teams and players. These investigations may result in suspension, forfeiture, and probation. In order to keep games starting on time, Southern Miss Intramural Sports adopts a policy that game time is forfeit time. If teams know that they cannot make their scheduled match time, there are 2 options that team has. One is to forfeit, and the other is to default. Teams that fail to have the required number of players present at the game site at the designated game time must forfeit the match. A forfeit results in a loss for the team, a sportsmanship rating of 2.0, a suspension of the team captain, and a fee of $15 assessed to that team captain. Once this fee is paid to the Payne Center sales desk, the forfeiting team's captain's suspension will be lifted. The better of these 2 options is to default. If a team informs the intramural office that they cannot make their scheduled game by noon the day of their game, or even further in advance, the game will be defaulted and result in a loss for the defaulting team and a sportsmanship rating of 3.0. There are no fees associated with defaulting a game. Here is the sportsmanship scale for intramural sports. After each game, the officials and site supervisor will come together and determine the sportsmanship upon the behavior of that team during the game. Keep in mind, a team includes players, coaches, and fans. Examples of factors that could affect a team's sportsmanship rating may include team or player dissent towards an official, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties or technical fouls, abusive language, excessive celebration, unruly fans, and so on. Teams must maintain a sportsmanship of 3.0 to be eligible for playoff competition.
League information. Schedules and brackets will be posted to imleagues.com/USM. Game times are based on the division you register for. For example, if you sign up to play Mondays at 10 p.m., more than likely all your games will be Mondays at 10 p.m. Be sure to check your email for updates, as this is a primary form of communication between the intramural department and you. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. You can contact Sean Clark, Assistant Director of Intramural and Club Sports, at 601-266-5520, email at intramurals@usm.edu, or you can direct message at imleagues.com. So what's next? By continuing on and completing the Captain's Quiz, you are now verifying that you have completed the online Captain's Meeting video and are aware of all rules, policies, and procedures related to soccer. If you have any questions, please contact the intramural office through the information provided in the previous slide. Thank you for viewing the Southern Miss Intramural Sports online Captain's Meeting for soccer. We wish you the best of luck in the upcoming season.